While we're all out here debating Ten Hag's current position, we're forgetting the main people we still need to be going after are the Glazers. While INEOS are doing a very good job at clearing out the setup that the Glazers put in charge of United, finally now getting footballing people in footballing positions. Who would have thought that was a good idea? Wow! Unfortunately though, it's going to take a while for the changes to have effect. And it's going to take a while to clean up the mess made by that Glazer hierarchy. In the video today, I want to take a look at the lasting legacy now that's going to be left over by the Glazer regime and highlight a lot of the problems now that this new INEOS structure are going to be facing, particularly on the squad building side of things. So going to focus on the transfer side and that squad building side. As always guys, drop a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get into it.
Okay, let's go.
Now I'm going to focus on the last couple of years, on the signings made by the Ten Hag era, because if I went back further, over the managers of the last decade, then I think we would be here for more than an hour.
It's been 84 years.
Before the Ten Hag era, we've had players that were better known for playing the piano, players that were better known for returning to Old Trafford and getting thrown in the advertising boards. And then we've also got players now that we still literally can't give away. Looking at United's latest starting 11, 7 of those were signed in the last 2 years. For the last decade, United have spent money in the transfer windows. Granted, it's not money that's come out of the Glazers' pockets, but we have spent money. There's been so much problem on how we've spent the money though, and it's not solely on Ten Hag, but he has had a lot more scope than previous managers to sign the players that he's really wanted. But look at where that's got us now. The lack of long-term planning from the United hierarchy has really stuttered Ten Hag's second season, and you can see it by looking at that starting 11 of the most recent game that how many of those signings, yes, 7 of them we've signed in the last 2 years, but how many of them fit into that long-term project the United are hoping to build now?
Core meltdown in 10 seconds. 9, 8. Meltdown averted. Good boy.
Now, I know Casemiro wasn't signed as a centre-back, but even as a CDM this season, he's been just as bad. The signings of Eriksen and Evans, they're one thing. Free signings, obviously adding experience to the youthful camp that we've got. But Casemiro, 70 million and a 4-year, 350k a week contract was absolute madness for a player the wrong side of 30. Yes, he's won it all at club level, and he did add a lot of steel to our midfield in his first season. But this season, one little body feint is sending him to Mars, and it's leaving us praying for an offer from Saudi in the summer. He's probably one of the biggest examples of that short-term planning that United have been doing over the last few seasons, and Casemiro isn't the only one that's making United's wage bill look absolutely ridiculous now, and he's not the only questionable signing either. Take Anthony, a player who United rated at 20 to 30 mil a few years back, yet we end up spending 80 odd. He's still that 30 mil player that United had valued a few seasons ago though. Hasn't really improved from then, and he's never likely to either. And for me, he's never likely to reach anywhere near an £80 million player. He just has a limited ceiling, there's no doubt about it for me. Obviously, it's great that United were backing the manager at the time. But there's still no doubt in my mind that the United structure should have pivoted Ten Hag onto a new target, but they were panicking, obviously due to poor planning once again. And with Mason Mount, obviously bad luck with injuries, but even when he has played this season, you're left scratching your head as to where he's actually going to fit into this team. 60 million on someone with no clear way into the first team 11, and then to top it off, then you give him the number 7 as well. Baffling. We signed Onana for 50 million, and while I think he's had a decent enough season, particularly after the calamities of the Champions League, his best trait really is his passing out from the back though, and United clearly haven't used that this season. So again, we're left wondering what really was the point of signing him, especially for that amount of money. You could have got a decent enough goalkeeper in there for a lot less money. But obviously we signed Onana thinking you're finally going to have a goalkeeper that can pass it out from the back. Yet we're seeing him kick it long constantly. Again, what is the plan? Now we're left apparently with 3 players to build a team around. Like, I'd probs add a couple more to that list myself, but it just shows how bad the recruitment have been over the last few years, that we're largely left now relying on character and products to prop this team up. And it's not the signings that we spent millions of pounds on. It's great that Sir Jim and his team have obviously wrestled away control from the Glazers. And it's not just seemingly the football side of things either. They're doing a lot in surrounding the broader scale of United as well, so that's great. But this football club is never truly going to be whole again until those parasites are off our books. And sadly, the legacy that they will leave at this club is likely going to be felt for many, many years now. And that's the sad truth of it. But now, obviously, it's not just regarding the transfer side of things. It's also, obviously, the debt that they've left United riddled with. It's obviously the state of the stadium as well, not investing in that over the years. There's many more issues I could go into with the Glazers, but we're still obviously going to be getting that legacy from them. And this video is just highlighting that it's going to take a while for Sir Jim and his team to get things right. And they're going to make mistakes, there's no doubt about it, but I'm fully backing them. It's the change that we've needed desperately. So now, get behind them, get making those full changes. I don't really care who the manager is. There's so much issues surrounding this club as a whole. Sir Jim and his team have a lot to do, but it seems now they are going down the right route. Obviously, bringing in the CEOs that they have already, bringing in the technical directors. Hopefully, Dan Ashworth is going to be soon to follow as well. Getting that team around whoever the manager is, that's going to be a proper footballing structure the United have been craving for. Going to take a while for it to work out. We're going to have to be patient. But let's wait and see what happens. As always, guys, stay tuned to West Red TV for everything surrounding United, and I'll see you in the next one.